So where are the coconut shrimp? Where did I am so dumb.
Welcome to Behind the Sins, presented by CinemaSins.
Welcome to Behind the Sins, a weekly look at everything going on inside the world of CinemaSins. I'm Aaron Dicer, and I'm joined, as always, by Jonathan Watkins.
Hello.
And Danae Hughes.
Hello.
We write for CinemaSins and TV Sins and do various other things inside the CinemaSins universe as well. Danae is either doing her Harold voice or she is constipated. One of the two things is happening right now.
It was the old man voice.
So yeah, how's Harold this morning?
Good. My back hurts. I was out in the garden getting my maters done before the frost comes, as you do.
What is the weather like there? Is it getting cooler? I guess we're probably about the same.
Yeah, we're kind of the same.
We're like a day ahead of you, basically.
It's really warm. It went like 80s.
It was cool before we left, and then we went to, my wife and daughter and my mom went to Hilton Head, and it was actually cooler there than it was here.
Yeah. It cooled off today. It's gonna be cooler. I think we're officially gonna hit fall here soon, and now that the weather report is out of the way, we can get into the the rest of the show. Here at Behind the Sins, we do weathers on the sevens, just to keep you updated with your morning commute. We'll give you a traffic report coming up soon. Going now to Danae in the helicopter.
Hey, I just gave you a helicopter. You got to run with it, man.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Going now to Aaron in the helicopter. Yeah, it's looking good down on the I-4. They've got a little bit of a backup going on right around exit 69. Nice.
Okay, I can't do it anymore. It's a lot of tongue work. Too much.
And we're back.
Or are we? I don't know. It's been a weird morning.
We don't know anymore.
It's been definitely a weird morning. Should we just get into the show? Let's
do it. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Let's just get into it. Let's do the SinSide Scoop.
What's he building in there?
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
This is a true story.
We're going to take a look at the videos from the week, the process of sending them, how we felt about the stuff that we're sending in general. Let's get into it with TV Sins. We're kicking off a run of Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. Very excited about this as a Simpsons fan. So we'll kick it off with the OG original Treehouse of Horror episode, which is the only Treehouse of Horror episode to actually include a treehouse. So 35 seasons later or whatever.
It really hasn't ever been done again.
No,
but I had totally forgotten they even had it in a treehouse in the first one, because I probably hadn't seen this since I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, season 2.
Well, that treehouse is a little bit perplexing, though. Like, how did the little toddler or the little baby even get up in there? Oh, I wish she does have those the grip of a bear.
Man, if you're gonna start questioning Simpsons logic, that's the low down the chain.
Well, and welcome to us questioning Simpsons logic. That is what we're doing now. This was a Dicer Hughes script. Danae and I wrote on this one, and I love the Treehouse of Horror episodes. Danae, what's your familiarity with these specific run of episodes from The Simpsons?
I've never seen them before,
okay.
So they are new to me. It was interesting. I kind of picked up pretty quickly that it was just sort of mimicking other horror movies or whatever they're called.
Stories?
Yeah.
Content?
Uh-huh.
Tropes?
Nope.
Anthologies?
Like urban legends.
Okay.
Yeah, like it has that vibe where it's like going to play into the whole like urban legend and story stuff. And so that was sort of fun. Yeah. I didn't expect Edgar Allan Poe, and I did not expect to love that one more than the others. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the most famous ones, right?
Well, I think it's not overstating to say that segment is one of the primary reasons that this became an annual tradition. People loved that segment, and just the idea that every year you could do 3 segments and, hit a home run like that would be fun. And when they were doing that, I know I did a little bit of research, and Matt Groening was very worried about that segment. He thought that people would
The
hate
Edgar
it.
Allan Poe specifically?
Yeah, specifically thought the Edgar Allan Poe was going to be a little too artsy for their audience. And I think he was way wrong, which we all are on occasion, and underestimated the audience.
kinda
Well, this
started
is
off
early
like-
on too. This is season 2. I mean, they're still trying out things because I mean, if you watch season 1 of The Simpsons, I mean, that's nothing like the next couple of seasons.
no.
I mean, they
Yeah.
were still in the process of trying to figure everything out. So.
Yep.
I didn't know if I was going to like it when I started watching it, though. So I think I kind of had that experience where I'm like, what's going on? But then by the end, the way that Homer was acting, I don't know, you could really tell the voice actor doing what a voice actor would do. And it's not just playing a dumb donut loving character, but he actually got to like put emphasis and emotion into Edgar Allan Poe and delivering. I was really blown away by that. I had a lot of fun on that particular segment. Like, man, that was really good. I really enjoyed that. Like, well done, Homer Simpson. Like, get that mouse from off my door. Like, he just was really into it. I loved
I feel like that is the one that's mentioned. Maybe the shinning, which is like the 6th or 7th one. That might be the one that's mentioned the most. We use outtakes from that a lot.
Yeah.
And all fun. What is it? All fun and play make Homer something.
Yeah, all work
or
and no
fun
play. All work and no play make Homer something.
But I would think the Raven might be the second one I've heard the most mentioned because
It's also funny to see little.
It's just different.
And see little Bart as a raven.
Yeah.
It's just because, he would be annoying Homer. So it's just really clever. It was a really clever reimagining.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it was also fun, too, to, you have Marge stepping out being like, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a different style show. It's going to be a little bit scary. And then it was pretty mild. But then I was looking at other ones that came, like, because I wondered, that was pretty mild in violence and like, what was she worried about? That they were going to carry knives around in a circle?
It was 1990, 91.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to remember, like, you have to remember, like, when you couldn't show anything at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock Eastern. Like, you could, I mean, you had that's why most everything, but back then it was sitcoms and stuff. Because a lot of people, because I remember when when they moved Melrose Place to like 7 o'clock, like that caused all kinds of controversy. And like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, it's crazy to think now, because if you went back and watched Melrose Place, you'd be like, what? But back then, when we're watching Family Ties and stuff like that, that's all that's coming on at 6 or 7 o'clock or whatever time zone you're in. So I think they did have to put something out there, because that was, from what I remember, Simpsons was on like at 7. So and it was
sense.
And it was Sunday, which is
but
a
then I
whole
was
other
like,
thing.
looking at images from other ones in the future, and I'm like, oh, that's far more disturbing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a head walking around or chopped up body parts or whatever.
Yes. Heads
and
walking
I can't
around.
remember anything specific about people complaining about this, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, because people complained about everything. I mean, you think people just complain now? We just didn't have Twitter then, but I mean, we had. I mean, like, I lived through the Satanic Panic, where musicians had to go in front of the fucking Supreme Court and say they weren't Satan. I mean, so it doesn't surprise me that they had to do this.
Yeah. No, I get it. Let's move into the video itself. Jonathan, since today and I wrote on this, what were some of the things you wanted to talk about?
Well, I had a couple of questions. Why is eating fried shrimp with a fork a bad thing?
That's my question too.
I do that.
Me too. Who wrote that?
Me too.
That's dumb. Who would even write such a thing? Everybody eats fried shrimp with a fork. Come on, guys.
Did Chris do that, or did Aaron?
No, it was me.
It was Aaron.
Really? You guys eat fried shrimp with a fork?
Yes.
It has a tail that you hold on to. Why would
Not
you
all
ever...
fried shrimp has a tail.
Why would you...
And I don't like getting my hands greasy.
Do you eat French fries with a fork?
No.
I do sometimes, but French fries typically aren't as greasy as fried shrimp.
Any fried
always eaten it with a
food,
fork.
like fried food, is finger food. Like
I do
chicken
actually.
tenders.
I do. It depends. I don't eat fries that often, but like, especially if it's like a chili cheese fry situation or something like that, hell yeah, I'm eating that shit with work. I'm not
Well,
getting that
yeah,
crap on my
if you've got it doused in liquids, like, I get that. But like, fried food is finger food. I mean, do you eat chicken tenders with a fork?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so here's the thing.
I cut them up and eat them. Yeah.
I am obviously in the minority on this show.
But I think fried shrimp, I know what you're saying. I think fried shrimp is more acceptable with a fork. Most people, in fact, I've rarely seen people not eat it with a fork. It is super rare. Not Not that I've watched a lot
Really?
of people eat fried shrimp. But
I
that'd be
feel
my,
like we need to do a poll. I feel like this
Okay.
needs to be a poll because I think I'm in the majority on this, but I could be
Okay.
wrong. I could
I don't
absolutely
know.
be wrong.
Also, why would you waste another knife when you have a perfectly fine one sitting there to spread the mayo? That didn't make any sense to me either.
And
All
the
right,
most
I'm feeling
massive-
attacked. So if we can just move on to the next one. Apparently, I do everything wrong, and fine.
What I love
saying,
about
you're
this is in
you're
the
wasting knives.
in the combine process when we were doing notes and everything together, I didn't question the sin. I didn't bring up like, well, I eat it. But I think I did ask you, is this how you eat shrimp? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You're the narrator.
You hold it by the
It's your
tail,
world.
and then you use your teeth to pull the nice meat out of the tail so that you get all of that meat. And
No,
then,
if it has a tail on it, I cut the tail off with my fork and then I scoop up the
What?
part that's not the tail. Yeah,
what?
that's how I've
Wow.
been
I
raised.
do try to pull the tail out.
With your hand,
Now-
right?
Well, if it just depends. If it's like the shrimp that like the cold shrimp, like a shrimp cocktail,
Right.
I use my hand.
Yeah.
You have to
But
understand.
that's not
though,
fried shrimp.
No.
I don't like getting.
if it's like shrimp in, because I thought she was eating like fried shrimp in like rice,
Mhm.
right? That's a fork. I don't pick out the shrimp and eat that like that.
Okay.
You have to
set
understand
up
though,
the
I
poll.
I don't like getting stuff on my hands too. Like I'm weird about stuff like that. I will eat wings because they're so good. So I will eat wings and I'll just deal with it. But I don't like it. I like ribs are the same. I get really weird about ribs too. Cause
Sure.
I only eat that stuff at home. I won't eat that stuff at a restaurant because it just makes me, I don't know, just weirds me out.
Well-
So that's probably why I don't use my fingers. I don't use my fingers unless I have to. I eat pizza mostly with a hand, although some like abnormally large pizza slices and stuff where stuff is just falling off, I'll eat that with a fork, at least till I get down to where I can control it. So I might just be more of a fork user.
It's possible. I am really curious. So here's what we're going to
Yeah,
do.
put a poll.
I'm going to make the poll right now so that by the end of the show, we'll have some votes.
Okay,
sure
that's
you're right.
fun.
You
Now, I
normally
want
are.
to make sure I'm wording this fairly because polls can be worded unfairly. So what I'm going to say is, how do you eat fried shrimp? Is that fair enough? And then the choices are with a fork, with my fingers. Does that work? Does it need to be worded differently?
I'm just
I
trying to
think
think if there was a
that's fine.
third option for how you would eat it.
Well, not for the poll that we want to do. So, believe me, people will give third options in the comments. Believe me.
Okay.
That's like Patrick, my friend Patrick on Jeremy Knight's friend Patrick on Twitter, Finley Ash. He did a poll one day where all these selections were some version of yes. He's like,
Right.
And I thought that was on purpose. He's like, no, I just forgot to put no on there.
All right, I'm gonna preface it with settle an argument. Is that all right?
Okay. I mean, argument's really strong.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think Aaron's
what
the
is
only one
happening right
offended
now
here.
today
We're
is
just
really
like,
strong.
Whatever, man. Eat with your fingers. I don't care.
I can't believe we're spending so much time talking about this, but I do want to say, if the shrimp is mixed into my meal, I eat it with a fork. If the shrimp is like an hors d'oeuvre, I eat it with my fingers. That's
There you
all
go.
I have to say. So you could also say, like, I think fried shrimp, to me, I was thinking about it being inside of the rice. So I think you might need to specify if the shrimp is standalone shrimp, fried shrimp, or if it's like and this is why I just can't believe that for someone who wants the show to be wrapping up in about an hour, that we're spending so much time talking
Listen,
about
some
this.
things are
I think
important.
it's-
Some things are important.
Some things have to be discussed, you guys.
So I also like, are we moving on? I also
Yeah,
like
let's move on.
getting into the Sins rule book. I thought that was very funny.
You know what, Aaron? Aaron did that. I actually did that in an upcoming script that was just approved. And I'm really excited for you to see it because I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I put the rule book in a main channel script.
Oh, the
Like,
rule book
you
that
know, like-
yeah.
The nod to let me consult the sin manual or whatever. But the script has been written now, but it's not going to be actually released for a little while, so you won't be able to see it.
So
it's
she's like telling you, I
movie.
stole from you.
I stole
but I'm
from
gonna
you.
let you know
Hey,
after the fact.
That is sincerest form of flattery as far as I'm concerned.
I really, really loved
Beth?
it. And it was fun because there's a situation where you're like, okay, do I do this or this? Oh, but does this cancel it out? And then just to kind of make it into a sentence.
I think in the Corpse Bride script, somebody uses the "My duty to rock that booty" sin.
Speaking of stealing sins, Jonathan.
I don't know who did that. I think Barrett and Jeremy wrote that script, right? That's what it
right,
said on the
that's
prep
right,
sheet.
That's right. All right. What else did you like, Jonathan?
Well, that, and then the only other thing I had written down, I mean, I love this whole video, but the other thing I had written down was Homer certainly within swinging distance and could catch Maggie easily. Where's the effort? Like, where's the effort on not killing the baby?
So wrong.
Yeah.
Is Maggie still a baby, by the way?
Oh, yes, always. I mean, I guess
so
they're
they've
special.
literally never aged in 32
Except
years.
for special time travel episodes where they'll go ahead in time and that kind of thing. But even in those, you never hear Maggie talk. I think there's one episode where they let her say something. But even when she's older in like those time travel episodes, she doesn't say anything or has something in her mouth or whatever.
Because I do still, that's right. I have seen a few of those things. Because I do still typically watch the Halloween specials every year. But I haven't been watching just the show itself outside of that for probably a good 15 years, like a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, obviously it still gets ratings. I mean, they keep doing it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I still watch it.
And they're getting, the cost it must be to pay those actors has got to be crazy at this point.
Yep. Anything else?
No, that's what I had written down.
I wanted to mention you wear other people's faces and demand candy from your neighbors. What's there to understand? I thought that was really funny. Garbage. That was a delicious orange. At the very least, the note should read, "The chewy exterior was terrible, but the inside was delicious. Send more." I love that. We mentioned the sin about how they don't ever use the actual treehouse again after this episode. The Sins rule book we mentioned, and then I'm getting a phone call from Morgan Freeman's people, and then it just becomes a thing. I thought that was fun too.
That was a lot of fun. It was interesting too. In this one, Aaron and I had so many crossovers.
We tend to do that on our scripts.
But it was really, this one to me was a little bit wild because I think we had like 5, 6, or 7, somewhere in that range where we were looking at so many alts. Starting off, our very first sin that we both talked about was how Marge walks out in front of the audience and then clears her throat instead of doing that before she steps out on stage. Mm-hmm. And I laughed so hard, not at the joke, but that Aaron and I would both focus on the fact that, as people who could step out on stage and talk to people, you don't do that and clear your throat before you go out.
That's right. That's right.
So that was just really funny to me how many crossovers we have.
Yeah.
But the sin that you wrote, Aaron, about having to say end of the story after your story finishes is a clear sign that your story was lame. If your audience doesn't know when it's over, you're not doing your job right. That's it. That's the sin. Like doing exactly what. It's just such a funny little wink to us being goofy.
Yeah.
I had the eating shrimp with a fried fork. We'll never bring that up again until next week, I guess, when we talk about the poll.
I didn't know that was going to be so offensive. I'm sorry.
Well, there's already 22 votes. So do you want me to keep you updated, or do you want me to check in later at the end?
Is that really?
I mean, I don't care. Like, I mean, if more people eat it with a fork, good for them. I have cleaner hands.
No, tell me.
You want an update?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So far, it is 66% fingers. Oh, just changed. 77% fingers, 22% fork. Mm-hmm. So
I guess I'm the one surprised.
And did you specify if the shrimp is in a plate of food, or did you say the shrimp was separate from the food?
Well, see, here's the thing about that. When do you serve fried shrimp?
Hold on. Well,
it's like inside of pasta or rice. That's a very strange thing. Yeah, if it's usually it's a baked shrimp or something like that that's in rice. Like if you get shrimp fried rice, that's not a fried shrimp. That's fried rice. That's a different thing. So she was eating actual like breaded fried shrimp, which is
okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, all right. Interesting. The other one that I really liked was the grip of a coconut crab.
That was good.
And then it being embellished with adding, if she doesn't grab a free solo El Capitan or start an over-the-top sequel, what's the point of anything? I just like that was kind of embellished. So yeah. It's always interesting to try to send something that the people love, and Simpsons is obviously one of them. So it's a little intimidating, but had a good time.
Speaking of sending something people love, we did some anime sending a while back, by the way. This has been waiting for release for 2 months, I think, 2.5 months.
A long time.
Yeah. So we've been waiting on this one. This is Naruto. and it is Enter Naruto Uzumaki. And as the narrator, I spent, I'm going to say, an hour trying to teach myself to pronounce Naruto instead of Naruto, which a lot of people say. So I did a little work on that because I didn't want a repeat of the Pokemon situation from before. So,
Oopsie.
So yeah, this was a Dicer Hughes script. First time I've ever seen the show. Danae, same for you?
Yeah, I had never watched it.
Yeah, no, the first time I'd watched it, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, actually. I don't know that I'm going to go watch the rest of them anytime soon, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well.
It's a cool premise, and
right.
I could see it. I could see why it's popular.
Right, yeah, the premise is really cool. There was part of me that was like, this is something I can see myself getting involved in, if not for a couple key things, primary among them being that the main protagonist is absolutely annoying. And I'm not sure how much I could put up with that, but
a lot.
I hope
it's a lot.
That Caillou comparison was wrong, though, man. Caillou is the worst. Like, there's just, I love that scene, though. I wrote it down, but man, I was just like, I have like flashbacks to Caillou.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Danae, what are some of your thoughts on the show itself, watching it for the first time?
I mean, what I said about Simpsons stands, and really anything that there's a massive fan base. There is a level of intimidation, but I had no idea what it was going to even be about. And so I was just like, I don't know, curious why this episode would draw people in to watch it again. Because I just found it to be really annoying being screamed at the whole time.
There's a lot of yelling. Welcome to anime.
There's a lot of yelling.
Yeah.
I guess it's interesting to see someone do like this ninjutsu type thing. I'm going to say all the words wrong because it's been 2 months since I did research on the show. But this, type of ninja magic, where you can transform yourself. And so maybe there's just this draw to understand about this, multi-tailed fox demon living inside of a person and the mystery of that. Like maybe that's baked in there somewhere. But, to me, it was a really strange, and this is anime though, right? Like it's just it's a different pacing, to spend 12 complete silent seconds of a show on a swing is just mind-boggling to me, the American consumer. You know what I mean? That seems like a brave choice to have that much time dedicated to nothing. And I found myself rewatching it. So I probably spent a minute of my life watching the swing going, but what does it represent?
Yeah.
Like,
I
are they trying
that
to
registers to people that aren't paying the attention we are there. Like, I don't mean 12 seconds is long.
It's a long, but
it really
that's the thing is it's long enough to where you're like, did I pause it? Mm-hmm. You're wondering if there's something that went wrong. Like if it was is it skipping?
Yeah, especially nowadays with like DVRs and stuff, you'd be like, oh my God, what did I do?
Or like if it is DVR'd, was there when they were streaming it, was there an error? And so did it record? And you're like clicking to see if the meter's still moving on it, and it is, and it's for 12. It's a long time.
Well, and it comes back over and over and over again. It's I mean, that literally, those sins that I wrote about the swing were pretty stream of consciousness, because the very first time I saw the swing, I was like, you are spending way too much time on this swing. And then they just kept bringing it back, and I lost my mind. I was just like, and here's the thing, if you read the comments on the video, fans of the show I had one of them in the comment section was like, you have I think I have it written here, but it was like, quote, that swing set is on the screen for too long. And then they just say, dude, you have no idea. So apparently the swing does become like a character in the show. So and I was excited to see that, because as people who haven't seen this before, and I don't plan on watching the rest of the 6,000 episodes that are out there. I don't plan on watching them all. Like, it's just funny that people who have, that's a recurring thing. And to me, I just think, is it a purposeful decision because there's supposed to be some kind of an element of like an orphan style reflection here? Mm-hmm. Does this location come to mean something later on? Or is it just, we need a transitionary image, let's use this swing scene? You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, but that baffled me. I guess, I don't know. I kind of like want to know what happens to him, and like,
does he become a demon? Does he kill people? Is he what is that like? Does the demon bust out of him like through his stomach like some alien, or does he control it? I have so many questions,
right?
But I don't know that watching how they would release that information. I don't think I'm interested in following the journey episode by episode.
We explain this in Annabelle Comes Home, though. It's demon. It's just demon shit. That's all it is.
Just demon shit, man.
Hey, Jonathan, what were some of the things you liked on this since Danae and I wrote on this?
Going off of what Danae was talking about, that whole demon part feels like it might be important. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I remember that cracking me up when I was reviewing the script, even before I saw it in the video itself.
Well, and that was in the discussion of the how the subtitles were so different from the actual language that was being spoken. It completely changes the world building. I had that written down too. So, yeah.
You had the overcandle their baby sin. That was really funny. Also, just sending the dubbing, which, I mean, granted, all these shows have dubbing, but I mean, I agree. I'm assuming that was Aaron.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to pick subtitles over dubbing, but I kind of feel like with these anime shows, I mean, that's just kind of, well, there are anime shows that are subtitled though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not making that up.
Oh, totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that is one thing, even like Pokemon was kind of fun to me, but you said you have that exaggerated, like, talking and stuff. And it just, I don't know, it does kind of get on your nerves after a while. I'm beginning to think anime may be a bit exaggerated. I thought it was really funny. And the "Am I rooting right?" I thought was also really funny. And then the sentence audio, I have no idea where that was from, and I don't know if this, because I was watching this at 1.25, so I don't know what this would sound like watching it at regular. But the "you pooping" sounded like Danae. And maybe I'm just thinking that's something Danae would say.
Well, you're not wrong about that. That is from Critical Role.
Oh,
that is one of the characters who famously, there's this spell that she can cast where she can send a message to somebody, 25 words or less, and they receive it into their mind. And so, and then they can respond in 25 words or less. So the joke becomes that she just sends it and they're like, you don't even know what people are doing, when they're receiving this message. And so she sends a message to this really important person in this world. And at the end, she's like, you pooping? Sorry, are you pooping? Like, are you busy? And then it just became this hilarious Critical Role joke. And so, that's where that one comes from. So shout out to the critters once again.
Well, and the critters love you in the comments. This is like the third Critical Role reference we've seen. And
I know, it's so cool. Yeah. I'm in there responding like, bidet, which is something that you do when you watch, anyway.
Yes. I'm sure the people who need to get it got it. Exactly.
If you want to get it, if you want to join us in our like Dungeons and Dragons obsession, like just let me know.
You pooping?
Okay, bye. You pooping? Oh, Jester.
Danae, why don't you go next?
I guess I should say that's the amazing voice actor Laura Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to her.
Shout out to Laura Bailey.
I wrote down quite a few, but are we just skipping right over the sudden appearance of a massive frog with a tongue piercing? Like never explained why there's a massive frog. I guess you have to watch to find out. And I'm sure all of the fans are like, you don't know, you don't even know. Oh my gosh. I wrote down so many different things.
Well, and I like in that one I had written down too, and sure, you could say they are tongue warts, but is that actually any better? It is a giant tongue wart if that's a tongue wart.
It looks like a piercing
to me. It really does. Well, it's placed like a piercing.
Yeah. During the transformation, Aaron said there was something about the way he said good here that gives me the no-no feeling in my no-no place. I like that. The default verbal setting is hard sell. I liked how that one was mentioned. I actually was hoping to kind of get some trolling from my sin about the lipstick holder in the armband of the shirt. I actually researched that, and it's supposed to be like for a pen for writing on scrolls and stuff.
Right.
But I made it into lipstick, kind of hoping that someone would be like, hey, that's actually not lipstick. But I didn't see it in the comments.
I'm sure it's there somewhere. I'm sure somewhere in the comments is someone's letting you know.
And then the when things are kind of happening and it's emotional, saying like a full minute has passed and now he's bleeding tears and snot and this is a nightmare of emotion and I was promised ninja shit. I love that.
Look at the pipes hanging off the bottom of this no rails death balcony. Made me laugh. Liked that. And then the chance to shout out Swing Kids by singing "If It Don't Mean a Thing, If You Don't Show That Swing." Doo-wop, 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 doo-wow. So yeah, good stuff. Enjoyed it. You guys mentioned all the other ones I had written down.
Swing Kids is a movie that people like.
Swing Kids is a great movie, and the only thing
Here we go.
The only thing more popular than Swing Kids is eating fried shrimp with your fingers. All right, on to
Or Newsies.
or Newsies. On to music video sins. Miley Cyrus, a favorite among the CinemaSins offices, as if that were actually a thing. And we're going with "Midnight Sky" is the song. And did Barrett have anything to say? I don't remember. Did Barrett say anything about this one?
Miley is pants-averse. God bless her. She's a unicorn, kind of like Justin Timberlake. I like her personality more than I like her music, but the song is fine.
Fair enough.
I like the song. Because I worked on this one too, so I listened to it a bunch. It kind of, I mean, we even call her Debbie Harry in the video, but it kind of had that like Stevie Nicks. It had that kind of era, like that 80s Fleetwood Mac, Debbie Harry kind of era. It just had that feel to it, heart maybe even. I don't know. I dug it overall. Like it's one of my more favorites of hers of recent, Miley.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good song. I like it. What about the video? What do you guys think? Danae, why don't you go first?
Miley is intoxicating and beautiful, and I love her voice. And I think she's a really interesting artist to watch because of how she's just so embraced her beautiful form. And, I like the songs that are like, I don't belong to anybody. I'm going to do my own thing. Those are kind of anthems that I think are powerful. And reinventing a song multiple times is fine. I think it's good. But I don't know. There's something about it that didn't connect with me because I don't think that visually the story was like powerful. It was just her singing in various like poses.
Agree. So it's the most boring kind of video for me. Totally agree.
It was like a photo
video,
shoot.
Yeah, went very good.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like a photo shoot,
Yeah.
which again, Miley is beautiful to look at. And so, but I kind of want the artistry to, like when you do a video, you have an opportunity to bring in a whole different level of artistry. And I didn't find that the photo shoot qualities were giving me artistry to amplify what the song was about.
Right.
I thought it was more like, oh, what if I was laying on gumballs, or like I want to like be drifting. I just want to have bangles all over, and that's really cool. And I don't mind that. But to me, it looked more like a song mixed with ego rather than a song mixed with message.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't know. I know artists are limited right now or at least they were at this time because of restrictions.
Right, exactly.
And this would have been filmed during, Corona.
Right, and I don't know the situation behind it, but so to me, it's almost like, well, maybe you can come up with a different way to do a video then. Like maybe what if your visage isn't there at all? What if it's animated? What if it's
like that
drawn?
Billie Eilish video we just did?
Yeah, and I'm not saying it has to be like a copy of Billie, because I don't think that's true. But there's got to be another way to sort of present a message. But maybe the message here is something that she didn't know how to connect to, and so this is sort of what sells. And it does sell and it does work. And I think Miley is one of those artists who wouldn't be confused by someone like myself saying, I think she's really okay with her sexuality and her sexual energy coming to the forefront of her performances. And that's what I'm kind of seeing here more than I'm seeing the message of her song.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair. I think that's right.
Okay.
Jonathan, what are some of your thoughts on the Sins video?
I love the whole Mario Kart sin and him just going fucking Billy.
Yeah.
This was mine, but I really enjoyed it. I'm glad he left it in there. The whole thing about the sweat fripping off of her days.
Yep.
I thought was well read by Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like the who's going to chew on the butt gumball.
I know.
That was my absolute favorite.
That killed me. That was so unexpected and funny. And then how he transitioned it to be like, well, I mean, like, and on the other ball, it was just one big ball. He just kind of kept going with it.
Yep. Yeah, that was good. Danae, what about you?
I took screenshots of my favorites and my tabs just closed. So go to you and then come back to me, and I might have them pulled up, and if not, we can just skip over me.
No, that's fine. Jonathan literally took most of mine. I have one left. The only one he didn't mention was, has Miley Cyrus caught the Lady Gaga virus that makes you allergic to pants? I thought that was really funny. So I wrote that one down.
Sweat's dripping off of her days.
I definitely had that one written down. I had every one you mentioned written down. They're just so good.
So dumb. It was just, but that thing is, I don't know if you watched the actual video because it's really more pronounced when she's just like, yeah, like she nailed it.
You know, you mentioned something. Oh, you found him? Okay, I was going to stall for a little bit, but go ahead.
I just pulled him up on my phone to make it quicker. I like the whole in 2070 she'll be writhing around on stage belting, "I don't need any medical assistance, motherfuckers." And then his hatred for disco.
That was intense. That was intense.
Fantastic. Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yep. Good stuff as always on Music Video Sins. Let's head on to CinemaSins, and we'll kick it off with Corpse Bride, which was a Scott Watkins script. Jeremy and Jonathan writing on this, if I have my information correctly, which occasionally I don't. But yes, I believe this was Jeremy and Jonathan. So do we have Jeremy thoughts on this?
Yes, we do, but I have to find them. And it's just like a wall of text, so bear with me as I potentially struggle. Corpse Bride. He says, I saw Corpse Bride in theaters because of how much I love Nightmare Before Christmas, but this movie has very little of that film's charm. The songs aren't very catchy or fun, the voice performances are stale, and it's just not magical at all. And let me just tell you that this movie has the stupidest curse ideology ever. She stood up in the woods by her man, who kills her, and through no power of anyone really, it's determined by the forces of the universe that her hand will turn into a tree. And if anyone proposes to that tree hand, she will have a new husband, and the proposer has no say in the matter. And everyone down below in Deadland acts like this is just peachy and common. They just can't understand his confusion. Like, I guess she's the only person ever murdered in this reality. Otherwise, wouldn't there be a shit ton more tree hands out there waiting to get accidentally proposed to? Why is she half bone and half blue skin? How did she know dude even had a dead dog, let alone know which dead dog it was, so that she could give the ghost dog to him as a present? Why does a Ukrainian haunting spell have the word hopscotch as its click your heels twice to return home magic phrase? This was my favorite sin to write because I make this point, then say it should be a Ukrainian word like pipskok, which most people will just assume is Ukrainian word, but it's also the Ukrainian word for hopscotch. I did not know that. I was wondering that when I watched it. So this is why you listen to the show, guys, to learn all the information. He continues by saying, and it's just silly to me that the word, no matter the language, would be hopscotch. Why not Cece? Cece my playmate, or double dutch, or Yahtzee. Everyone's motivations suck. He falls for the Corpse Bride after beginning to feel sorry for her and playing a piano duet with her, even though she's a hideous, festering, half-skinned skeleton with a slug living behind her eye. And then, after being insistent about this marriage like a boss all movie long, she just changes her mind at the end and tells him to marry the human girl. The end.
Nicely said, Jeremy. I think pretty much covered everything. I actually don't. This is one I actually don't remember if I've seen. So I'm just going to pass on this because I don't. If I have seen it, I don't remember it at all.
I love this movie. I love Nightmare Before Christmas as well. I might actually enjoy it. I find this one maybe a little more rewatchable.
That is shameful to say. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Are you a Nightmare Before Christmas fan?
I love Nightmare Before Christmas.
Have you seen Corpse Bride?
No.
Leave me alone. No. I love both of them very much. They're both. I love claymation, and I just stop motion, stop motion animation. I really like, and I love the look of this one, and I do think it looks different than Nightmare. I love the voice work, especially Helena Bonham Carter. I think she's excellent, and I don't know. I just really find. I think it's a fun story, and I just enjoy the hell out of it. But it was a lot of fun to work on. It was not hard to send or anything.
Yeah.
Just like I don't think Nightmare would be either, because there's obviously things you can find. But
sure.
But no, I don't know. I enjoy these. I enjoy Frankenweenie as well. I enjoy these like stop motion worlds that Tim Burton and Henry Selick and all those guys, helped create for a few years there. So
nice. Well, it's nice to get some Corpse Bride, love on the table, because I'm sure there are people who really do love this movie in addition to you, Jonathan. So it's nice to have that voice, and especially considering Janae and I, neither one have either seen it, and in my case, maybe just don't remember it. So I guess that means we move on to the sins from the video. I'll kick this one off. Jeremy mentioned actually a few that I had here, or at least one that I had here, which was the Pidskock one, which I really thought was great. That
was my favorite as well.
And just even seeing in the subtitles the Ukrainian script was, I don't know, I just really dug that. I thought that was cool. I also had Help, I Can't Breathe, Are You Done Sketching Me Yet? That the butterfly was from the voice of the butterfly. That was hilarious. Eavesdropping is only bad when bad people do it, right? I thought that was funny. And this is the most boring sword/fork fight in the history of film. Made me laugh quite a bit as well. So I wanted to mention that one. What about you, Danae?
The singing the Forrest Gump feather theme was
so
fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. The sin about being invited to play somebody else's piano, I kind of had to stop and be like, oh no, I think I'm the kind of person who would just jump on a piano.
What? You? Do something impulsive?
I'll be honest, I didn't think that was that weird either, but Jeremy is a pianist, and so I'm like, right. If he's saying that, I guess that's true, and I'm never going to do that again.
That is definitely,
it's definitely true. Like,
yeah, no, it's true.
You wouldn't play that you shouldn't do that. But then I realized I would have that impulse, and
yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I know what you're saying. I would probably ask, but I'm just saying. I'm come from Danae's perspective on it.
Like sometimes you'll see a piano out in public that you're supposed to be able to play, or like in an airport or something, and like I'll watch videos of people who sit down and just play these incredible things on these pianos, and people stop, and it brings them joy or whatever. I don't know how to play a piano like that. I'm a chopsticks person, but I want to go make fun sounds with instruments if I can. And so anyways, I just felt like I learned something, and I was reminded that I really need to have impulse control. I don't regularly go to people's houses who just have massive pianos, so I'm not in danger.
It's rare.
But it was a good reminder.
Yeah, you want to do the Bill Murray from Ghostbusters thing where you do the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. They hate when you do that. But you wouldn't just pick up somebody's guitar. So I mean, it is weird.
That's true.
That but it is weird that you wouldn't. I would think just pianos are right there, man. I want to play it, even though I can't play.
Jeremy mentioned a lot of the things just about questioning how there's tears, or how the body works, or why she's part blue and part skeleton. I thought those were really fun. And then towards the end, it was like, what the fuck? I swear to God, if he loves her now because of guilt and piano duet, I'm gonna decapitate a stuffed animal.
Yeah, that is one part of the movie I've always had a hard time with. That it makes no sense. I still think maybe there's something in there where it's part of his plan to get them all up there, and then they just edited something out that doesn't make that clear.
Yeah,
because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But I don't know, the way they play it, it seems like he feels bad maybe or something. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's a weird thing about that I've noticed in this job is when you question why things are happening, because when you watch it as a consumer just to enjoy it, you don't end up questioning things. But this seemed like it was very questionable.
No, and this is like a movie. I mean, my daughter, I've watched this movie with my daughter several times, and she's never been like, oh, that's weird. She's dead. He's alive.
You just accept it.
Yeah, sure. They just enjoyed the visuals or whatever. So
pointing out the lifespan of a maggot was funny to me. And then also just the whole, at the very end where it's just like, but butterflies are cool, I guess. Just as a way to kind of end it. Why is she turning into butterflies? I mean, I guess they're cool, but why? So definitely enjoyed this one.
Yes, that could be our CinemaSins motto, but why? That could be, but why? Yeah. What about you, Jonathan? What are some that you want to mention?
I like the dreams are for third sisters as are deadly diseases for fourth sisters. I thought that was very funny. Corpse cleavage. I wish I could tell you I don't have a boner right now. I thought Jeremy read that very well. My gross ass wrote that. The what a fucker. Just the stream of sins about that guy joke, being a fucker. Yeah, that was really funny. And I was so happy that the Maltese Falcon outtake turned out so well, because the maggot was clearly whoever was doing the maggot was clearly doing a Peter Lorre impersonation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I got that. I don't know. I enjoy when I get to do classic films and the outtakes and they get through.
Yeah.
And Maltese Falcon is like one of my top 10 films of all time. So that was fun.
Yeah, definitely fun. Well done. Well done.
It's one of the 50 movies I probably said are in my top 10 since I've been doing this show, by the way. But if I never do a top 100 list,
you can just keep saying it. Doesn't matter. That's right. Let's move on to Ad Astra. This was a Dicer Scott script, myself and Jeremy writing on this one. This is a movie that I have proclaimed my love for many, many times. I really like.
You married it, right?
I did.
Are you gonna marry it?
It is. I had a conversation with my wife. I was like, I know we're not into the whole polyamory thing, but I really love this movie. Can we please add a third to the marriage? And she was like
that was like a partial like Trump impersonation right there. It was kind of weird. She really loves this movie. I can't do it.
It's huge. It's huge. People are saying it's the best movie of all time. People are saying. So yeah, I do enjoy it very, very much, and it is. It has diminished a little bit upon rewatch in this avenue. That happens sometimes, but not often for me. And I think what I began to realize is that the metaphor that I really love in this movie is not all that solid. And if you really look at the details of how this movie does what it does, it really doesn't play on that metaphor enough for it to make it as brilliant as I thought it was. And that's a fine experience. That's a good thing to kind of go through and figure out. I still love the atmosphere. I still really enjoy the pacing and tone of the movie. I'm on board for what's going on here, but the metaphor itself isn't as solid as I thought it was. And so it's diminished just a little bit in my eyes, but I still really do love the movie.
The metaphor is a little runny, a little more runny.
Yes,
solid.
Yes, it's more of a meta 3 or a meta 2 as opposed to a meta 4. But yeah,
I saw this in the theater. I haven't seen it since. Chris and I did a mini pod on it. I think I gave it like a B-. I liked it fine, but I don't know. It kind of just felt like it was a lesser version of like 5 or 6 other movies.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally could see that. Yeah.
I mean, because there's definitely Interstellar, Contact. You guys mentioned some of them. I didn't even think about Apocalypse Now, but yeah, definitely. It's not really like 2001, but it still reminded me of that kind of like visual, like, what it's trying to capture. But yeah, I just never really got there with it like you did, at least that first few times.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. It looks really boring.
I imagine you would be bored. I don't think this movie would entertain you at all.
It just seems really boring.
Yeah, I don't think you would dig this movie at all.
Something about like the narrator or like even how like Brad was talking, it just seemed like he's just like, well, I'm alive, so
one of the things,
I guess I gotta do stuff.
You bring that up, and I'll kind of launch off of that because I think it clarifies some of what I'm talking about. I loved those moments of him doing like status updates, because to me they were symbolic of what prayer is. They feel like prayers, but they feel like perfunctory prayers where it's like, now I lay me down to sleep, or those kind of things where it's like you say the words, the Lord's Prayer even. It felt like the Lord's Prayer kind of thing, where it's like, give us this day our daily bread, that kind of thing, where it's just rhetoric. But then
what is now I lay me down to sleep then? What's that one?
Well, that's just a prayer
that's
poem.
Not called anything?
I think not that I know of. It probably does have a name, but yeah.
It's just when you said that, I thought Lord's Prayer, but then no, you're right. Obviously the Lord's Prayer is
Lord's Prayer does not include now I lay me down to sleep. That's a different thing.
No.
But then the movie like progresses him to a point where he actually chooses to put emotion into his life and into his request for his father and those kind of things. And that's when things start happening. And I was like, there could be something in the metaphor there about religion and why religion is so empty, but like relationship is so full. And so there's like this really interesting metaphor. But the problem is, on rewatching it, it just doesn't play with that enough for it to really solidify. And so that's when you said that, Danae, that made me think of a very specific instance of, the way he narrates and the way he talks, I think is intentional, but it just doesn't quite solidify. But yeah, I think you would find it boring.
there's time and space for movies that are kind of more depressing and slower paced. There's a place to watch those. Those just not the ones I usually lean into.
Sure.
Jeremy said that Ad Astra is so frustrating for me. I know Aaron loves it. His love of it is the only reason I ever went back to the film, and I've seen it probably 6 times now. The action sequences really sing. The fall from the tower, the moon chase, sneaking onto the rocket as it takes off. But there is so much narration. Here it is like a hammer of boredom. There's a lot going on with the themes as well, mostly father-son and religious stuff, though there are hints at what I felt were more interesting ideas. The notion that once we colonize the moon, we would turn it right into the shopping mall capitalist fuckhole. Brad's a little sleepy here, probably tired from reading all the narration, and almost no one else has much to do here. The cast Donald Sutherland, Liv Tyler, Natasha Lyonne, and Tommy Lee Jones, and 2 of those actors were giving nothing, and the other 2 were given some scraps. Good space porn. Excellent score. Didn't do much research due to the sci-fi setting, but my favorite sin or thing to note was the rocket landing. Like, this movie was smart enough to realize we'll be landing on our own rockets that we took off in, but makes a huge suspenseful scene out of him having to land the rocket. And I think the movie just got pushed back enough timing-wise, and it's not the movie's fault, but the fact that SpaceX in real life has landed tons of rockets without a pilot at all makes that scene in the movie really silly to me. Oh, and calling him the urban legend nursing home cat was fun. That's actually one of my favorite jokes.
Yeah, I had that one written down too.
I never realized until the Sin viewing that he is the catalyst for so many deaths in this movie. Almost half the people that share space with him end up dead. Oh, and he's an asshole.
Yep. Yeah. Jeremy and I have had several conversations about this movie, and
can't tell.
And it's fun. To me, that is a success in one way or another, that you want to keep talking about something. So, there at least is that.
It also could be taken, he's watched this movie to spite you.
Well, that's true.
Right.
That's true. It could be taken that way.
I just want to prove Aaron wrong. I'm going to watch it 6 times. That's commitment, man.
And to put a number on, something that it's hard to put numbers on how you rate things, but we do it anyway. But I've moved from a very solid A to a very solid A minus. So it didn't.
Oh no!
Yeah, it didn't
just
ruin the
slipping
movie
down a little.
Didn't ruin the movie for me, but it definitely changed my
Having
view of its
not
brilliance.
seen it, I give it a C.
Oh, nice. What do you give the Sins video?
I give it all of the words.
What do I have? What am I supposed to say? How am I not going to get fired?
I liked it.
I give it 6%.
What are some of your favorite Sins?
So there are a lot of the ones that I like the most are just calling out how boring it is, because I was like, this seems so boring. So I really liked it whenever I was like, this is boring. Like the lead in, I will not allow my mind to linger on that which is unimportant. And then, if only the director had said that. Or
right.
I've talked when I should have listened. Ironic that you would say that in a movie that's so much narration.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I believe it was 1,000,000% narration. I believe is what that Sin is. Yeah.
Yeah. He already mentioned the nursing cat legend, which makes me sad because I wanted to say it.
I had that one down too.
So freaking funny. Because there is that cat.
Mm-hmm.
They do that.
Yeah. There is that urban
That's
legend.
because they
There's
want
cats
to
that
eat.
do that?
That's because they want to eat you.
Yep. That's the reason.
That's awful.
Yep, it's a primal reason.
I'm trying to stop this goddamn surge, and then that's dirty talk in other contexts, just FYI. That was just really funny. And then singing Father of Mine, Where Have You Been? I like that too.
Very nice. Jonathan.
Oh yeah, and singing Applebee's. That was fun.
Always. It's always good to sing Applebee's.
I hate Applebee's.
As a Notre Dame fan, I loved the Purdue Sin. Great. Was that a Michigan fan writing that?
Yeah, well, I mean, Jeremy grew up as an Indiana fan, and that's the rivalry right there is Indiana-Purdue. But I did write that sin, and we have, Jeremy and I have an unwritten rule. He'll sin Ohio State fans, and I'll sin Purdue fans. So that's just,
nice.
That's how we get each other's back.
At least you guys are leaving Notre Dame alone. I appreciate that. The near future, this information is totally useless. I enjoyed that right from the get. And then you guys mentioning the drones. God, that is killing me. Like, that really is a thing. That's like in every damn
Gotta
movie.
use a drone.
And I would not have ever noticed that if not for this job.
Yeah.
I can't even remember how many drone sets we've written over the last year. Is the flight recorder their Alexa? I thought was really funny. I liked how the narrator was doing the conversation, and then at the end of it was like, did you just brilliant your own statement though?
Yeah.
And the regular show outtake was great.
A bunch of baby ducks. Send them to the moon.
I like thought about that show. I haven't watched any of the other episodes, but I've thought about that show a lot for some reason. Like those things from that episode have stuck in my head. I feel like maybe I should watch a few more episodes. I might need some substances to go with it, but that's another thing.
This one, if you look through the comments, the outtakes were the heroes in this one. The Among Us outtake of the Brad Pitt is not the imposter was one of the favorite things.
What was that?
The people. It's from. I don't know because I haven't played it, but I think it's a video game called Among Us. Play on that, and so but fans of that game were just losing their mind in the comments.
Because what was weird, I googled Brad Pitt imposter, and apparently there was this whole story from a while ago where somebody got catfished by a Brad Pitt imposter. So
nice.
I found that story.
Nice.
That was
and then the other one that was all over the comments was the Fugitive one where it was like
oh, that was great.
Where I forget what the guy was like. I would just want you to be my dad or something like that. Yeah. And just cut to him and he goes, I don't care.
Oh, and it fit perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good stuff. I also had written down the Space Cowboys connection, the fact that both Donald Sutherland is in this and Tommy Lee Jones, so that it's almost like a Space Cowboys sequel. I thought that was fun. I also loved how Jeremy did. Also, this movie's title could easily have been Daddy Daddy, Daddy Daddy, though it would have admittedly sold fewer tickets. I just think that's
could have sold much fewer tickets.
Yeah, right. And then the an awards bait movie that uses space as a way to confront daddy issues. What in the first Manor stellar grava contact will they think of next? And then this one I really loved, and that's all the time this movie had for Natasha Lyonne. It really was, by the way. That one sentence is all she gets in this entire movie.
She had. I wonder if she was edited.
Must have been. And that's all the time this movie had for Natasha Lyonne. She's so underused and wasted in this movie. We should now just call it being Lyoned. Like, have you seen that movie Ad Astra? Liv Tyler was totally Lyoned in it.
That's great. Did Jeremy write that or did you?
No, that was one of mine. But it's just,
that's awesome.
I love that turn of like she's in Ad Astra, but you have so many of women in this movie like that you could pick a different one and say the exact same thing about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So good.
This movie is not concerned about females.
Go ahead.
No,
it
go
probably
ahead.
does pass the Bechdel test, though, right? I don't think anybody talks about a man.
I don't know. I don't think two females ever talk to each other in this movie, so no, I don't think it passes the Bechdel test.
Never mind.
And then finally, Ad Astra is the Golden Corral of movie has time for this. I thought was fun too.
Golden Corral. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, it's so gross.
It's so bad.
Sorry, Golden Corral lovers or
sorry, Golden.
Yeah.
But no, the important thing is that Golden Corral fans know that they like a restaurant that's awful. That's the important thing amongst all this is
Golden Corona.
You listen to this show to be shamed for your
restaurant
choices.
That's what we're here for.
I remember I got some fried shrimp and they didn't have any forks. So I was really irritated.
They're out. On that note, we'll move into keeping tabs.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
Oh, jeez.
This is the most public yet of my many humiliations.
We're going to take a look at some of the parts of the process of doing our job, some of the strange searches we had to do, maybe some of the comments we gave each other in the scripts, some deleted sins, whatever we want to do. What's one thing from putting together the content for this week that you kind of want to highlight? Danae, what did you have?
I wanted to know more about the voice acting, so I just looked up Miley Flanagan, who has actually won an Emmy for her voice acting work. Not for Naruto, but for other animation. She won an Emmy for Outstanding Performance in an animated program called Jakers, The Adventures of Piggly Winks. That was in 2006. And so I watched a little bit of that show and kind of heard her voice acting there. She's just, she's talented, obviously. But it's interesting because I was looking up, she'll go to conventions and stuff like that. And there's videos of her being asked what fans want to hear her say the most from that show. And it's like, you better believe it. And so she just, for fan service, she ends up just saying the same line
Say
over
that
and
funny
over
thing
again.
you say by Grabthar's hammer.
Right?
What
it's
a
also
savings.
fun to look in, and if you look up Naruto voice actor, there's several women that are listed, both from the original and then just different remakes and stuff. There's 5 women, and so to me that's always really fascinating. But I also looked up the coconut crab. I wanted to know what animal or what creature has the strongest grip strength based on Maggie holding on to Bart as they descend the treehouse for the Simpsons episode, and learned that that thing is the largest living anthropod in the world and can weigh up to 9 pounds, which is like a little over 4 kilograms. And it can grow up to 1 meter. That's like over 3 feet long in length from the tip to the tip of leg to leg.
Wow.
That's a very, very big, and it has the strongest grip strength. So can you imagine like coming across this thing and it just like grabs you by the ankle? That's terrifying.
That is very
terrifying. This is why you never go into the water, people.
Well, bad news for you, Danae. Bad news for you.
Oh my God.
Crabs live on land. So like you're not safe either way.
By the way, you should have seen me with my daughter in the ocean this past week, because I'm not a big ocean person because of what Danae's talking about, and but I stay like in the shallow area, but she's getting a little more adventurous. So she's like, "Come on, Daddy, let's go farther," and I'm like, I'm not a great swimmer.
God, good. I'm wondering because Iris is only 3. I'm just hoping that Justin, my husband loves the water.
My wife will go out with her. Yeah, she loves it. So yeah, no.
Aaron, you're right. I just kind of like did like the superficial search for like what I was looking for, grip strength and kind of just a general size. I just went back to the article that or the resources, and I clicked on Wikipedia. Adult coconut crabs feed primarily on fruits, nuts, seeds, and the pith of fallen trees. They are on land.
Well, the good news
all
is
those things are on land.
The good news is they don't want to eat you.
Yeah, I'm not made of fruit.
I feel stupid because you said coconut crab, and I'm like, oh, there's really a coconut crab? I thought that was just a food. And then I realized I was thinking about coconut shrimp, which I would also eat with a fork if I liked coconut, which I do not.
Can you like a little shrimp's grip strength? And they just have these little legs that just propel them.
I like that I realized how stupid I was being, and then I still called myself out because it's too much fun not to.
Oh man, have you seen the fabled coconut shrimp? They are, man, they are strong.
Oh my God,
they are strong.
I guess you could eat coconut crab though. I mean, you can eat other crab.
Sure.
But it probably doesn't have a coconut flavor. Why is it called coconut crab?
Because it can break a coconut with its claws. It's so strong.
Yeah.
They do eat. Let's see. The species is popularly associated with the coconut palm, but coconuts are not a significant part of the diet. So
they're just in the tree.
They kind of burrow down. The crab has been filmed climbing coconut and climbing the trees. They're in the trees now.
It just keeps getting better for Danae.
Not like in Missouri. I don't think they're in Springfield, Missouri, or as bad to say the city.
No.
Yeah.
They climb because they need an immediate escape route to avoid predator, especially when they're young, by large birds or other cannibalistic crabs that would eat them.
Well, there you go. Nature, you scary.
These things are a nightmare.
Nature, you scary.
Okay, so now the picture of them is so much more terrifying.
Oh, no, coconut crabs are crazy scary.
I didn't think that it was scary when I saw it because I was like, oh, I'm not going to go in the water. Now, having actually completed my research live on the show with you.
Now that you know they are paratroopers from the sky.
God, they are so scary looking now because they kind of blend in.
Yeah. Congratulations, Danae. You have a new fear.
Yeah, I am looking at like
all
where
those coconut crabs in Missouri.
Coconut,
really
right. Coconut crabs live on most coasts in the blue area on this map. Nowhere near Missouri. I'm good.
That would be great.
Okay.
Like the largest population of coconut crabs
just centered on Missouri
is in the Ozarks. They're usually called the mountainous coconut crabs.
So where are the coconut shrimp?
All right, Jonathan,
I'm so dumb.
Jonathan, what do you got this week?
I don't really have much of anything. I just worked on Corpse Bride, and there wasn't. I mean, I didn't feel like looking up like necrophilia and stuff like that. So
good for you.
No, but the only thing I did learn though, because I tweeted out about my love for the movie. Like I was like, I just tweeted out something like, we don't talk about Corpse Bride enough. But somebody was telling me there's actually a fan theory that the dog is the same dog from Nightmare Before Christmas and Frankenweenie, which was really funny because unbeknownst to that, Jeremy wrote a sin actually calling the dog Frankenweenie.
Yeah, Yeah.
And I think the fan theory, the guy told me he thought it had been disproven, and I didn't look too deep into it, but I thought that was interesting. And it wouldn't shock me that because all three of those are involved Burton. So and he started off, I mean, one of the first short films he made was Frankenweenie, so he might just have some attachment to that dog.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. But no, I didn't really look up anything worth noting. So I'm boring this week.
That is certainly not true. I have much enjoyed the coconut shrimp conversation that we've had.
Well, yeah, except for my idiot comments that I called myself out on. I could have kept that to myself.
Guys, let's just be honest with ourselves. The only reason anybody listens to this show is because of our idiot comments. That's the only reason they tune in every week. Keeping tabs for me this week was about Naruto. The dubs talking about the difference between the world building. I just wanted to go into that a little bit more because I did a lot of research on that, and it turns out the subtitles are correct with the world building. The dubbed English version is incorrect. So when it says, when the English says, the decree is no one can tell you the nine-tailed fox is inside you, that is an incorrect translation. It really should be, you are the demon nine-tailed fox spirit. And so this character, this child, actually is a demon fox. There isn't a demon fox inside him. He actually is the demon fox. And so that is, and again, that's a huge distinction. Which I think in the Sin it says, but as anyone can tell you, there's quite a difference between being something and something being inside you. Like those are two very different things. So I wanted to mention that a little bit more because I did do the extra research to kind of go with what the intention was. And the intention is that he is a demon nine-tailed fox spirit. This is a creature in human form, not a human who has a creature inside them.
I can't remember. Is there actually, I mean, I'm sure there is more, but is there a ton of demons discussion in the Bible? Like, do they talk about what they can and can't do and all that stuff?
No, there's much less than you would think. You would think as much as there is conversation about heaven, hell, demons, those kind of things, that would be a big part of the Bible, but it really isn't.
I don't remember that either. Honestly, like, I feel like The Exorcist actually is what caused that to even become a thing people talked about, because I don't even know if we would know much about exorcism if it wasn't for that movie, because Catholic Church likes to keep them hush hush anyway.
Well, there's a human element to it too, which we like the idea of demons and angels being super involved in our lives because it gives us reasons for things we can't explain. So there, I think there's a very human nature to go, okay, the devil made me do it. A demon had an impact on this.
People fighting their demons.
And let me be clear. I don't know anything about, like what really is real. I'm not dismissing the idea that demons are real or angels are real or anything like that. I am as, not omniscient. Like I don't know what exists. I'm just telling you there is a human nature thing that likes those stories, because they help explain our lives.
I mean, it's a good question because, here there is this kid show. It's like, so kid, guess what? You're a demon. And he's like, what? I'm a demon? And then the translation's odd too, where like we translate it to there's a demon inside of him, which seems very religious. You can have a demon cast out of you. So you're not actually a demon. You're your own person.
Right.
But you're like sharing some sort of physical space with this other being, like Jennifer's body style or whatever is going on with that, So it's interesting that the original show is like, no, he's a demon. Well, and then what does demon mean? Like, does demon mean the same thing? Because like here we are, Western Christian culture going, okay, so a demon is this because that's what the Bible says. Whereas maybe it's not that in its origin.
Right. It almost to me feels more like Last Airbender, like spirit world kind of stuff where, it just means of the spirit realm, a maleficent member of the spirit realm, which is what a demon is, But again, to reiterate, not only does the English version say that it's inside him, it doesn't call it a demon. It just says a nine-tailed fox is, living inside of you.
I wonder if that's, I don't know when this came out. How old is this show? Because I wonder if that had to do with a censor thing.
Could be.
Say demon.
Could be.
Maybe they can't say demon in cartoons. I mean, because there is a list of words, you can't use and all that kind of stuff. So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
it's you know, it may be lost in translation too, but it's definitely worth exploring. So I wanted to mention it.
That's interesting
For keeping tabs.
It's definitely cinnable. That's for sure.
That is for sure. As is everything. Let's move on to the comment section.
I appreciate your honesty. You're a real straight shooter.
You are the ones who are the ball lickers.
Going to take a look at the comments from the week, from maybe the videos, maybe from Twitter, whatever the case may be. I'll start us off. Damocles from the Miley Cyrus video says, quote, "And that thing could not fit into her butt." And then Miley, challenge accepted.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And then I also wanted to mention that weirdo geek says, as someone who lives in New Zealand, I can confirm it doesn't exist. And then the comments on that were fun. Someone replied to that, I should say. That's exactly what someone from New Zealand would say if it did exist. And then Smooth Yoda says, all of us are paid actors, but don't tell anyone. And then someone responded, we know it's a fake place created to draw attention away from Zealand, which I thought was really funny as well.
The old Zealand, the origin.
The old Zealand. What did you guys have?
I wanted to do a shout out to our very first P.O. Box merch. We tweeted about it.
Yeah.
Thought that would be kind of fun to do here. So huge thanks for the Doctor Who figurine collection number 46 of
that is the creepiest toy. That is so cool.
Lady Cassandra sent to our P.O. box. We just got our very own podcast P.O. box where Aaron and I can actually check it. Doesn't go to Nashville. It comes this direction. So Behind the Sins, P.O. Box 881, Republic, Missouri 65738. You can also find it on our website, cinemasins.com/BTS. But anyway, just a thank you so much. And we've also got a letter coming, and I think some posters were also sent already. So it's just like, wow, you guys are incredible, and thank you so much.
Pics.
I just wanted to,
Less dick pics, please.
And dick pics, DIK.
Dick pics. Oh, I should have
I
should have said that more correctly. Yeah.
Yes. Did you have another comment section that you wanted to show, or was that your whole comment section?
Well, I thought this week I might not get in trouble for having more, but sure, since you asked, you already mentioned that there were many shout outs to the swing. So I'll skip over those, but Shadow the Supreme King writes also on Naruto, quote, when your anime hero starts with the same catchphrase as the gingerbread man, me spits out drink. And then I already did a shout out to my critters. So that was it.
Nice. Jonathan, what about you?
I actually just realized I had a tweet down that is for a video coming out next week. So I will save that. We can talk about that next week. Oh, when you write so much at once, it gets confusing. So I thought this was interesting. Sunny's films on Corpse Bride. This is kind of long, but they actually wrote like something that we could have sent, and I think this was interesting. They wrote, actually, I think you missed the biggest sin of all. How does no one in the town recognize Barkus? Emily's story is what he wooed her, and she met him at night by the graveyard, which is where he evidently not only killed her, but left her remains. This implies that Emily either lived in the same town as Victor and Victoria, or she lived in the town over, since she had to be able to walk to that spot at night in a short span of time. Add to that, Barkus isn't that old, and we can only gather that Emily disappeared a few years ago at best. The skeleton seeing that she was a beauty known for miles around, and that her family was evidently well off, meaning that people would have noticed her absence even if her parents moved away. They would have known her or known of her, so they would have known this guy was trying to court her at some point, or that her father had thought he had put a stop to it. So I repeat, how does no one in the town recognize Barkus? And that is a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy actually wrote a great sin. I don't think we talked about it, where it made no sense. Like, it made it seem like everybody in that hell was, or that underworld was local. So that would also probably factor in that she was probably local or lived close by. So that is a very good point.
No.
Now I hate the movie. Thank you, Sonny.
You just ruined the movie. How could you do that? How could you do it? Let's finish off. Let's finish off the comment section by going back to the poll on Twitter and seeing where we are. The poll currently stands at 180 votes already, and the percentage is 81.1%. Say with my fingers, and 18.9%
And what does
say
that
with a
mean
fork.
for our friendship?
So do we even have 180 Do we even have 180 people that listen to us? I'm so confused.
Yes,
Do we even?
yes, we do.
Do we even have a? Oh, hey, we should do a shout out too. We hit how many downloads?
Oh, 100. We crossed 100,000 downloads last month. 100,000
So
unique
thank you
downloads.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are so enjoying putting this show together for you guys, and I don't know, it's just been really fun. We've been doing that for a little over a year now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we just kind of crossed over that year mark recently, and so to also have that big, download milestone, that's huge.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate
it's
it
awesome.
very much.
You guys are amazing fans.
If you can get us to 150,000, we all get beach towels.
Ooh.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I will put beach towels up in the merch store. Something really awkward.
What was the Sports Illustrated? Remember that, Aaron, the old commercials where if you subscribe, would you get a flip ball phone? Was that what it was?
That was one of them. Yeah, there was always some weird
That's
gift.
what I was trying to think of, and beach towels is what came out. We'll get a year supply of coconut shrimp.
Did you guys want
a football phone?
Did you guys want to hear some of the comments? There's 30 comments on this poll already, so people are definitely.
I feel like they're all just going to be, saying how awesome
Jonathan's
you are.
the one that eats it with a fork, isn't he?
No, actually, I think you will see a lot of the comments that agree with you, and especially you, Danae, because people are definitely on your boat of it depends on the situation. So there's some of that as well. The main comment, the most liked comment, is from somebody named @CinemaSins, Jeremy. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
But they say I use a straw. And that is.
Whoa.
That is the most liked comment. Brady agrees with you. Jonathan says anything fried that can be picked up with a fork should be picked up with a fork, unless you want to spend bare minimum 5 minutes washing your greasy fingies. And then there were a few like Haunted who said I'm sadly allergic to shrimp, so none. So I did want to say that as well.
My father-in-law has that issue, unfortunately.
I guess this is the moment when I say I am too. But I purposefully put myself in intestinal pain to eat shrimp.
Well, there are different levels of seafood allergies.
That's true.
Yours is more of an intolerance than
mine's an intolerance, and it gives me a really bad stomach ache.
Yeah.
And so I have to be careful, like how many I eat.
Hey, same here with dairy for me. Oh, and you have dairy issue too, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have the same.
You're just such intolerant people. I've noticed that about you.
I have to eat ice cream sometimes. I have just noticed the older I get, I think this is pretty common with a lot of people, just fried food in general.
Yeah.
I avoid it as much as possible.
Slab says tail in, fingers to dip in the sauce, popcorn fried shrimp, fork to dip in sauce. So the dipping is the main reason why they would choose. Nick says,
yeah, popcorn you'd have to use a fork if you're dipping.
Nick says as many as you can, as fast as you can. So I'm assuming that's fingers because that's much quicker.
Gross.
Holic says by.
I thought you were saying that you assumed that he was eating fingers.
I mean, chicken fingers, maybe. Holic says by throwing it into the garbage. Okay, Holic. All right. Whatever. You do you.
That's like one of those where you, like, Holic's the guy where you say, I really like Ghostbusters. And then he's like, Ghostbusters fucking sucks. You're like, thanks for your comment.
Katya says fork, and that applies to chicken wings as well. Joseph says secret option C. Yes. So apparently just as long as he's eating shrimp, he's good. So Kyle says alternate answer with an EpiPen. So yes,
must be allergic.
We get it. There are
that's
allergies.
the deadly one.
That's the bad one.
Yeah. Thank you for your responses so quickly. We love having you guys. Over 200 votes now. I mean, basically at the end of the day, just saying I was right. So that's what matters.
Telling us that we're idiots.
It's just all balancing power out because
right.
in the tweet from BTS, which Aaron tweeted out saying that I was right, that people will send stuff to our PO box. So it's all balancing out.
It's all balancing out. We all get to be right every once in a while. This is my rare turn at being right.
I'm now picturing Jeremy eating shrimp with a straw. It's very funny.
Is it liquefied shrimp
or
is it just a big?
Oh my God.
Is it a big enough straw?
Like shrimp juice. Oh, that's so gross.
reaction was way.
Because it's just like I just like people like just like anytime I see like in a movie they'll have that joke like people like throw all this crap in a blender, you know, it'll be like ridiculous stuff. That always grosses me out for some reason.
As many flavors as Sonic has in shakes, I'm sure there's a pureed seafood shake that they serve there. I'm sure that's a thing.
God. It'd be the equivalent of like that if you've ever had like a seafood burrito or something. It's like that white sauce, you know, that would be what you're drinking.
Yes. Yeah.
It's either that or it was a massive straw large enough to suck up an entire shrimp, you know?
It could be.
Oh, I'm glad Jeremy stays on Twitter. Everybody quit being an asshole to him.
Let's finish off with our Beyond the Sins.
To infinity and beyond.
Somewhere beyond my wild history.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
We're each going to chat about something else from the world of pop culture that you've seen recently. Well, sort of. I'm actually going to kind of go around the something I've seen recently and talk about the new Google Chromecast, because I just got a new Google Chromecast. And if you watch a lot of streaming...
Ooh, I wanted to ask you about this.
Yeah, if you watch a lot of streaming content, this is the best thing I've ever used for putting all my streaming content in one place. Every single place I'm subscribed to is right there. Anything I've started watching on any of the platforms, I can pick from the main page and keep watching it. Like, it feels like a single streaming platform to me. Now, I know Apple TV is also trying to do this, and I think they do it fairly well. I've never seen anything do it with this many streaming platforms. So it's a huge shout out for me. Now, it's different than the Chromecast before, because before the Chromecast was just something where on your phone or on your computer, you would push the Chromecast button and send whatever you were watching to the TV. But now it is more of it comes with a remote. And so there's more of they call it Google TV. There's more of a Google TV environment where you navigate.
So
is
it a box, kind of like a Roku or something?
It's still just an HDMI plug-in. It's a little like puck-shaped disc, and you just plug it right into your HDMI port, and it hangs behind the TV, and that's it. So there's no box to set up. You don't have to have a place for a box or anything like that.
It does have to be plugged in.
It does have to be plugged in. Yes, it does need power, so you will need to plug it in.
That's cool. So like for instance, like do you have to? This is a dumb question, but do you have to have like the remote right on it? Like, 'cause for instance, like my HDMI cables in my living room would be behind they're the back of the television, so
no,
it wouldn't be visible. It's got the antenna or remote, whatever you call that.
I don't know if it uses Bluetooth. I don't know what it is, but it definitely is not line of sight. It's not IR. Although
and most stuff isn't anymore, so that's fair.
Although the remote does come with an IR signaler on the front of it, so that you can, and it makes it really easy. It walks you right through it. But basically, whatever TV you have, it will also control the volume and the power on your TV, so that you can use it as a universal remote.
I've had Roku for I don't know how long now, and I love Roku. It's very easily accessible, but for whatever reason they're having issues getting certain streaming platforms. So
it does use Wi-Fi. Did you mention that already?
Correct. You have to be on the same Wi-Fi
so you have to have a strong Wi-Fi ability, otherwise it could struggle a bit.
Yeah,
I think that's for all those things. I think that's always a plus.
But yeah, it just came out like a week and a half ago, and I got one immediately because I'm a Google zombie. I basically just buy whatever they put in their store that I think will be useful for me, and I'm really enjoying it. So I wanted to mention it. So there it is.
Mine is a warn this week. I actually tried a game called Match 3D. And at first I was like, ooh, this is fun. And then I'm like, this game blows. But if you wanted to pay $6 for it and kill the ads, then it might be really fun for you. So if you have you're just wanting to spend some extra cash on a game and you like doing match games, Match 3D could be fun for you. I've actually thought about, if it was maybe $2.99, I might have actually bought it because I have some of my Google Opinion Rewards cash built up for my Google Play Store. A little reminder, you can get free money from Google by answering questions, and then you can use it for games, which is kind of how I fund my gaming habit.
I had a dollar survey yesterday. How long has it been since you've had a dollar survey?
It's been a while. I usually get if I take a picture of a receipt, it's 70 some cents.
Right,
so that's cool.
Yeah.
So the idea for Match 3D is that you have it's almost like, imagine that you're looking down at a table and somebody dumps a whole bunch of stuff on top of it and you're just finding the matches in the pile, and the pile moves around as you move around the items because it's based on 3D. And so maybe it's like you're looking for a red drum and a red drum, but you don't see the red drum anywhere because one of them is actually on its side and you can see the red side, and the other one's actually on its face, and so you can see the white part of it. So it's not as easy to find the match for the key if the key is standing upright and you can only see a tiny little bit of it, is essentially what it is. And then you get, more and more added. It was really interesting. I saw an ad for it. I thought, I love match games. And so I was like, I want to try that. The first couple games that they put in front of you are really easy, obviously. They're like, you match this up. So you find a key and you just can drag it down to the bottom, and then you find the other key, you drag it down to the bottom, match, you're going on to the next thing. And there is a timer, so you're up against a timer. And then within maybe either the very next level that they give you or the one exactly after that, they just dump a whole bunch. They don't ramp up into having many. And it was a little jarring at first. I was like, whoa, get this shit off the table. And then it got fun. And then I started to want to beat the clock. And I was really getting into it. There's a little bit of the interface that was bothering me, but for the most part, it's really intelligent touch. So when I'm looking at this pile and I go to grab that key out of this massive pile, I actually do get the key. And so the touch on it was really impressive to me, because sometimes I can imagine that would be a little tricky, right? Because you've got this pile of 3D toys and crap that you're trying to match. The issue that I have with it is that while you're playing the game, ads cut in. So here you are memorizing and you're moving things around, and all of a sudden this ad cuts in that takes 30 seconds. And so by the time you get back to the map, your brain's reset and you're against the clock. So that eventually I was like, okay, I'll work around this. I don't want to pay for it. And then it got down to where I was literally dragging the final one to clear a map that I had tried to beat 3 times. And an ad is the reason that I didn't beat at that level, and I deleted it immediately. So
nice.
Because I was really frustrated with it.
Yeah, no.
So I will be reviewing it with 1 star, because I think that you can have ads to play the next game, but to interrupt a game is just a bunch of crap.
Yeah,
and
that seems weird.
And to ask $6 for it, without there being a relationship built up of any kind, is just a little bit of a BS thing for me. But there is part of me that I just want to go back and play. I love matching games, and they did a really good job. And 3D is an interesting version of it. So that's a more of a warning, maybe.
I'm giving it 1 star, but you might enjoy it.
Give it 1 star, motherfucker.
It's a good one. It's a positive 1 star. It's the high end of the 1 star.
It's a 1 star. It's like, you could do better, people.
It's a 1 out of 1.5.
You could do so much better. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Have a star.
Jonathan, what about you?
I started watching. I have not quite finished it, but I've only got a couple episodes left. But I thought I've been watching The Haunting of Bly Manor, which just dropped on Netflix on Friday, I guess, on the 9th. So this is Mike Flanagan, director of Dr. Sleep. I think most people would know him from Gerald's Game and Oculus and other things. He also was the creator of The Haunting of Hill House, which was a miniseries on Netflix from a couple years ago. So this is like a follow-up to that, although it's a different haunting story. Did you see Haunting of Hill House, Aaron?
No. Unless somebody kind of makes me watch it, it's hard for me to get into that stuff.
Yeah, but I think you'd like it.
Yeah,
it's different. I'm telling you, I think you'd like it. And I think you'd really like this one. So this is loose. This is based on oh my god, I just forgot his name. Henry James, The Turn of the Screw, which has been made into which has been adapted a few different times. Most popular is probably from the 1960s. There's a movie with Deborah Kerr called The Innocents. And then most recently, there was a movie that came out, and I actually had to look this up, but it did actually come out in 2020. It was called The Turning. It was terrible, by the way. But anyway, so this story has been adapted, but he, just like Haunting of Hill House, Flanagan has a way of taking a very unique approach to these adaptations that I really dig. Because like Haunting of Hill House was another one. I had seen that adapted a few other times. I mean, the Haunting from 1963 is one of my all-time favorite movies. Another one that's probably in my top 10 of those 50 I've mentioned. But yeah, so he took it in a completely different avenue. He explored different avenues of it, I guess, than other people have. And he's doing the same thing with this. And this is really weird. And this episode is really affecting me. This miniseries is really getting to me emotionally, which normally doesn't happen to me.
Ooh, I like emotions.
At least especially not with horror projects or thrillers, whatever you want to call this. I would almost say, I mean, this definitely is horror, but it's also very much a drama. It's very much a mystery that's going on. You're trying to figure out what's going on and stuff. And it's got a really nice cast. A lot of the people from Haunting of Hill House are back in this one playing different characters. And then there's some new people as well. But I don't know. I dig Flanagan. I think he's got a really interesting, I think he has a really interesting approach to his horror projects. I liked Oculus. I don't know if you've ever seen that about the possessed mirror. That's also an early one with what's her name from Doctor Who, and she's in the Jumanji movies and Avengers and Karen Gillan.
Oh yeah.
It's Karen Gillan and Brenton Thwaites actually, and Katie Sackhoff is in that movie. But no, I don't know. He's pretty much been 100% for me. He also did a really cool thriller on Netflix a few years ago called Hush. Yeah, he's great, and I'm really, really digging this show. Like I said, I've got a couple episodes left, so I guess it could take a nosedive, but I don't think it will. So it's a recommend for me. The Haunting of Bly Manor, BLY Manor.
Okay, very nice.
MANOR.
Not like manners. Not like Bly Manners. No, it's Bly Manor.
It's spelled THE.
Thank you. I appreciate the help. Appreciate the help. It's gonna
problem.
It's gonna be good. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for Behind the Scenes this week, guys. Thank you so much, and don't forget to make sure you are subscribed and go ahead and leave a comment or rating as well. You can hang out with us on Twitter. We're at CinemaSins BTS. I am at Aaron Dicer. She is at Danae Says.
DENEESAYS.
And he is at Sam Loomis 13. And Danae, people can send us stuff in the mail. Yeah. Where do they send that?
They're going to send it directly to Aaron's house. Here's his address. Our P.O. Box is Behind the Sins. For whatever reason, you probably should spell it out. Behind the Sins, P.O. Box 881, Republic, Missouri 65738.
So for Jonathan Watkins, Danae Hughes, the endangered coconut shrimp, and myself, we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Send any feedback to bts@cinemasins.com. And be sure to subscribe, rate, and comment. Find more ways to connect by visiting cinemasins.com/BTS.
I did clap next to the mic.
Well, whatever the case, the mic processor...
Hey, could you clap next to the mic? Like I'm going to clap by my ass.
I'm just saying I needed it again. That's all. I'm not judging. There's no judging involved.
There's no judging for my ass clapping. Thank you.
And our first outtake is born.
So, Jonathan.
Yep. What?
Oh my God. He's gone.
I've watched every single episode of Saturday Night Live, so I feel like I can't stop now.
You should have some kind of an award. You know how, in World of Warcraft, right? You have these achievements, and then you get these really cool titles, and you can make them, actually appear on the screen for other people so they can see that you're amazing. So, my character was a lore master, which meant that I, had completed a whole bunch of quests. I had actually turned them in, because in that game, you don't have to actually complete quests. You'll end up leveling up before you actually complete, these storylines. But I went down all these different storyline bunny trails and completed them all. So I could run around in the world and it would say, Airy, lore master. I was I just feel I wish that was true for life, too. You should have these accomplishments, these achievements for watching every episode of something,
Is that an accomplishment? It is to us, I guess. In a way.
Yes, Jonathan, don't you take that away from me.
DVR is the greatest thing ever. When I'm so glad that DVR was invented just for SNL, because if a sketch isn't working, oh shit, you can just fast forward through that so quick.
Not me. Not if I'm going to say I watched the whole episode.
That's true. For you, no. For me, it's okay.
I have watched all 639 episodes of The Simpsons. That's the other one.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I was going to say Saturday Night Live is really more like Sunday morning live in our house. That's typically when we watch it. So
yeah,
and for me, it's going to be like Monday Night Live.
No, it's Sunday afternoon DVR'd. That is the name of the show in my house. Sunday afternoon DVR'd.
I didn't know if you were staying up on Saturday and just watching it.
No.
Oh, you'd have to watch commercials. You wouldn't do that.
Dude, if I see 11 p.m., that is a crazy night for me.
Oh my
Aaron's
God.
out partying if he sees 11 p.m.
Not gonna lie, with this job though, occasionally, like if I'm super tired, I'll be like, I'm just gonna lay down for an hour. So I do occasionally get a nap, which I don't know how I made it through a office work day anymore. I did forget how that worked. So
Man, naps are amazing.
Office work days never worked for me. That's how those worked. My bosses hated me.
You mean I can't go change laundry right now? I can't run home and do that real quick?
You mean I can't watch 3 episodes of The Simpsons right now? What are you talking about? You mean I can't have America's Got Talent going in the background while I do my work? What kind of madman are you?
My Saturday afternoon, I do fall asleep to football sometimes on Saturday afternoons, and I'm always like, oh my God, I'm my dad. I don't know when this happened. Like,
it's interesting, isn't it?
I just need a toothpick in my mouth, and then,
it's
waking me up, choking on it.
I am identical to my father with one distinction on my weekends, which is instead of watching golf in nodding off, I'm watching disc golf. I just changed the instrument.
You can watch disc golf?
Yeah, I love watching disc golf tournaments. They just had their
disc
championship
golf would
last
be
weekend.
So much better.
It is. It's great. No, it is better than golf. Like
I like golf, but golf is such a commit. Like, I don't mind watching golf anymore. I used to hate it. I used to never understand why my father and my stepfather could watch it, but I get it now. But I still can't. It's a commitment that I just don't feel. It's almost like a commitment, just like going to. This is why I don't play golf that much, because it's a commitment.
This is what I love about the disc golf tournaments. Is because they don't have the financial ability to do them live with like cameras at every hole and that kind of stuff. They just follow the final grouping, or they'll do for the first 2 days, because it's same as golf. They're 4 days, and then best overall score wins. But they'll just follow the lead group, and they will put together an edited version of the lead group, every shot from the lead group. And so you basically watch the front 9 in about 40 minutes and the back 9 in about 40 minutes.
Is it called DGA?
PDGA. PDGA.
Oh, but they do actually do that? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Are you going to try to become one?
No. We've got a couple nice courses around here, and I do play. But in fact, there's a really nice course, like 20 steps from Danae's front door. It's like right across the street from you.
I'm sure she's there every day playing.
Yeah, she loves disc golf.
I love. If there's things I love, it's activity, movement of your body in any way, like walking. It's really great. And sun, Yeah.
It's a triple threat.
I love that stuff.
I hope they figure out how to take the, and I know I'm way in the minority on this, but I really do hope they figure out how to take the brutality out of football, because it is a beautiful game as far as like the idea of having that big of a team figuring out how to get this ball, to the other side of the field. Like that's like the intricacy of the plays, the way.
Yeah.
Like that stuff is gorgeous. Like so I'm watching some of the stuff Mahomes does, and it's just genius, and it's so fun.
Your homie?
Hey,
Mahomes?
real quick though, he wasn't doing that shit yesterday. That's all I'm saying.
No, he wasn't. He had an off day. He had an off day this weekend. It was funny. My son came to me the other day. He's like, "Dad, I know how you feel about this, but I saw a YouTube clip of a boxer and he was amazing." Like he was ashamed to tell me that he liked a YouTube clip of boxing because he knows how I feel about gladiatorial sports. And I was like, dude, it's athletic. It's incredible what some of those guys do. He said, I think you'll like this one because this guy dodges every single punch. It's like he knows it's coming. And he was right. He showed me this clip of a guy who, like, for a full round, like literally dodged every punch that was thrown at him like he was psychic. It was pretty impressive.
Do you still play World of Warcraft?
No, I really wish I could though.
That seems like very involved. Like
it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of game you want to play. You can just go on and casually play.
Can you go on and just run over prostitutes like you can in Grand Theft Auto? Is that a thing you can do? No. Okay.
Mm-mm. No, there's no clear prostitutes that I saw in the game.
I just remember I've never played I think I played Grand Theft Auto a couple times, but I just remember people telling me that, like, yo, I just run over prostitutes.
Yeah, Danae, don't worry. This is just Jonathan's first question about every video game. I was talking about Super Mario Sunshine the other day.
I like how you're like, let's stop talking about violence. Danae, you like World of Warcraft where you can run over prostitutes?
I'm making fun of other people. Thank you.
Hey, in that new Sonic the Hedgehog game, can you run over prostitutes in that thing?
It's a good question. I remember, I think I've told you guys this story, but I was this really low level character and I just decided to start walking around, and I walked for a really long, like probably 2 hours of game time just to see how long the road was. And then I remember being in this world where somebody ran by me on a velociraptor. And I was like, I think maybe I've gone too far. Because
It reminds me of like the swimming pool growing up and like wandering into the deep end and like all the older teens are there and the adults and you're just like, kid, are you sure you want to be out here? It's like, no, help me back to the shallows.
That's actually what ended up happening is this person doubled back and waved at me. And so I waved back, which is usually a sign of like, let's communicate. And so you can kind of whisper in the game and they're like, what are you doing here? You're really low level. You're going to die. You're going to die a lot.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready?
So let me tell you about polymer clay then.